Texas 95.7 The Armadillo. Time for the WRCA Ranch Radio, presented by New Generation Supplements. Poor Slick.
Glad you got your cab.
I got all the cabs.
Way to rip. Morning,
Appreciate them.
everybody. I guess technically,
Yeah.
whenever you're watching
Yeah.
this, good day.
Lehman and Shannon joining us today. And up in Guthrie, Oklahoma this past weekend.
That's right. Yep, the OCA Ranch Rodeo held
Oklahoma,
at the Lazy.
is that Cattlemen's, Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association?
That's right. Thanks.
Yep.
Everybody may not know
Yep.
what that means, but Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association hosts that rodeo, and it's really cool. It's actually a charity fundraiser for the Children's Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
There in Oklahoma City, and they've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for that organization over their years. I think this was their 39th,
Wow.
if I remember right. So next year will be their 40th year. It'll be a big celebration. But yeah, good times at the Lazy E.
Did you get to go?
I did.
All right.
I did. Got to go. Yeah. Yeah. Rodeo was very consistent. Like Shane and I were talking when we were walking over this morning, the way the event shook out, it was really anybody's game as you go through because everybody was having good scores, good times. A couple of things start to kind of make a difference in the way you see the results line out. And so after Friday night's performance, there was a top three. Dobby was in there. You started to see Whitmire, Surfson, Quarter Circle. And you start seeing some of the other teams kind of having that moment of brilliance, and you're thinking, man, they're going to jump in.
Yeah.
So, Dobby, we'll tell you, Dobby and that bunch, they were leading it after Friday night. And then Saturday, all sorts of things started happening. Made it all sorts of fun. But y'all want to jump in to the event winners? Go ahead and do that. So winning let's start with the bronc riding. We had a second place tie, which is very uncommon, but the way that they do their scoring. So second place tie was between Drummond Land and Cattle and Dobby Ranch and 3C Cattle. First place in the bronc riding was Whitmire Land and Cattle and Sumner Cattle. Stray Gathering, we had a second place tie again, and that was between Quarter Circle 99, Rafter D, and Baron Highsmith TNR. So those were the two that tied for second. First place in the Stray Gathering was Dobby 3C. Again, had a really good rodeo Friday night. Branding, third place was Stewart Ranch out of Oklahoma. I guess you should say all of these are from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Craig, very unique.
Yeah.
Not all the rodeos happen that way, but the Oklahoma Cattlemen's, you have to be a member of Oklahoma Cattlemen's in order to compete at the rodeo.
Yeah.
So third place was Stewart. Second was Buford, their Osage division. First was Quarter Circle 99 and Rafter D. Again, that was in the branding. Go to the team pinning. Third place, Grade G Bar. Second was Drummond Land and Cattle. And first was Whitmire and Sumner. Wild cow milking, we'll maybe throw a little information out right here before we go much further. Another very unique thing about this rodeo is you get to the very last event on the last night, and they kind of stop. They go rank the teams so you know who's leading all the way down to 12th.
Yeah.
And then they run the wild cow milking, the last event, in reverse order. So 12th to 1. So when you get down into the cow milking, you're sitting there literally as the crowd, okay, that team has got to do this in order to, or that team, you see them maybe have a great time and they move up the leaderboard and you get down there to the end. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. Cow milking, second place tie. Whitmire Land and Cattle and Sumner Cattle, they tied with Baron Highsmith TNR. And then first place in the milking was the Steerwalt Ranch and Trentman Ranch.
Did they run the cow milking like that Friday and Saturday, or just Saturday night?
Only did it Saturday. Yeah.
That's neat.
Only did it Saturday. And the crowd was really into it.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. But that's how the events shook out. And I will say, even we've been to a jillion of these and kind of know how things are flowing. But when they started running that deal, I was down on the end gate. I was jumping up and down, hollering, "Come on, boys, get in there, get in there!" Because you knew, like, okay, right there, you can't take much longer.
Did it change much? Did it change the top 12? Did the order change quite a bit?
The top three,
Yeah.
were getting moved around quite a bit. And then when we get in, before I won't spill the beans,
Yeah.
but when we get in there
That's
to
good.
the overalls, there was a little something that happened right there in the top three that
That's
caused
cool.
a big, yeah.
All right, let's go to top hand and top horse. Well, Cody, Bud Walker, he had a good rodeo, I guess, because he was top hand and top horse. He's from the Dobby Ranch 3C Cattle Company out of Ardmore and Mill Creek, Oklahoma. And the horse he was riding was Pepto 83.
What's up with the Peptos? Or is
Not
that his second?
Pepto-Bismol.
How many Peptos have we had this year?
Yeah, it's a very
Several.
popular
Okay,
line.
all right.
Yeah,
Several.
yeah. Bud did have a good rodeo. Of course, Dobby, 3C, they were highly competitive through the whole deal. Of course, like I said, winning, going after Friday night. And, of course, Bud was just so ecstatic, you know, when they called him out. And they kind of tricked him. They just had to let him walk off.
Yeah.
Thinking, you know, and then they said, well, come back over here. You know, we'll give you one more award.
That's nice.
Yeah, so congrats to him and Dobby and 3C. Let's go into the overall winners. Third place. Stan, pay attention. We did. Sorry, I don't get to pistol whip him very often. Same guy won both. So sorry, Stan. Yep. Third place, Dobby Ranch 3C Cattle came in third. Their stray gathering kind of haunted them a little bit Saturday. And then I was telling Shayna too, team penning wise, cattle were awesome. The herd was working well. They wasn't giving anybody many fits. The only team that got into a set of yearlings that gave anybody fits, it was Dobby 3C. Got down to pin them, and it just went, as they say, to the handbasket at that point. So came in third place there. Second was Quarter Circle 99 and Rafter D. Great rodeo. There were times they were hopping in first place. They would fall to third. They would bounce back up to first. And same thing kind of happened to them. They got into the wild cow milking. They were second, so they were setting second. And they missed both loops in the cow milking. And so going into that very last run, Whitmire Landing Cattle, Sumner Cattle, they were at a spot where they knew they had to get a qualifying run. And, of course, they did. So they won the rodeo, got the invitation to come to the World Championship. And great ranch, great people. We're going to talk to one of their folks here in a minute, Keith.
They did great, though. All in the top 5, all their finishes. That's a pretty good rodeo. To not have any
And
finish
especially
outside.
over 2 nights, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like Shayna said, all the rodeos have a little bit different format to them. This one was a 12-team, and it was a 2-go-around. So consistency was the key, but you had to come fast because as we look, a lot of times we'll say, well, you know, that event had several no times or no scores. This rodeo didn't have that.
Right.
There were very few fumbles along the way, and everybody was right there. They were on their A game. And so Whitmire Landing Cattle, congrats. And as you said, they were first in the bronc riding, 5th in stray gathering, 4th in the branding. They won the team penning, and they came in 3rd in the cow milking.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're calling, who we calling?
We're calling Keith Sumner.
Calling one of the Sumners himself, huh?
That's right.
All right. All right, we'll be right back after this, and we'll get Keith on the phone and give him a call.
Flies are a big problem for your horses. Get control with Horse Lick supplements, fortified with Clarify Larvicide, the first and proven leader in feed-through fly control. Proven more than 96% effective at reducing fly populations. Clarify Larvicide controls 4 species of flies to protect your horses. Not only will you rest easy knowing that you're combating flies with the latest technology in fly control, you'll also be supplementing your horses with the added nutrients they need to live their best life. Learn more about Horse Lick supplements with Clarify Larvicide at horselick.com. That's HORSLIC.com.
All right, we're back. We got him on the phone, Keith Sumner. Congratulations, Keith, coming to Amarillo again this year.
Yes, sir. We're awful excited about it.
Just running through a little bit before we called you, kind of talked about how the events shook out, and I made mention of how OCA did it this year, Keith, when got to the milking and kind of ran 12-1. What were your thoughts on that? How'd you like that?
It was different. We've never done it that way before at really any event, but it was pretty neat. It puts a little more pressure on you to know where you're setting at and know that you're setting in first and can't screw up. So it was a little different, but it was exciting. It was nice not to have to sit there and wait while they did event by event, and we knew where we were at as soon as it was over.
I thought it was pretty cool. I was getting very excited. I want to just call out one thing, Keith, and I don't know if y'all felt this way or not. We're sitting there, again, they were the last team to go. Knew we had to get a qualified time. And, you still want it to be fast. Yeah. So, come around there, TJ puts one on her, nice loop. Who was it? Was it Heston or was it Kyle that went into milk?
Heston. Heston went into milk.
Yeah, Heston went in. Wasn't like coming out of there very fast, and all of a sudden he turns, he takes off running, then he stops, and he goes back under the cow.
Oh, no.
And I kind of thought there for a minute, like, okay, what's happening here, right? And Keith, you were on the tail, I think, but did you see that, and were you worried at all?
I was a little nervous because when Heston ran by, he said got it, and he went to take off, and then he said, no, hold on. And Kyle about had the rope peeled off of her head at that point, but luckily TJ was on the ball there, and he just dallied up and pulled that rope back tight and kind of saved us. I don't know that I could see white in the bottle when he went to take off, but I don't know if there was enough or not. And we weren't sure at the point. We, of course, we knew we had to have time, but we didn't know how fast we had to be or anything. But we sure was a little nerve-wracking there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was sweating for you just there for a minute. So we went through bronc riding. TJ, man, I tell you what, the guy can just flat ride a bronc and come out of there with the win for you. How big is that when you know? We don't want to brag on him too much, obviously, Keith, but give the guy the credit, right? How important is it to the team when you know on that one event, the bronc riding, how solid he is? What does that do for you for the rest of the events?
Oh, it makes a huge difference, especially there at the OCA, because they start with the bronc riding first, and so it's one of those deals where he comes out and makes a great ride and kind of sets you up for the rest of the rodeo. When you come out and take off like that, and get a little momentum going and keep it going with every event, it makes a big difference. And we stubbed our toe a couple of times, but he kept us in there with it. And the sorting's always one of our favorite events, and it kind of helped us out quite a bit there too. And with these WRCAs teams are so tough anymore and so competitive. You've got to draw good, but you've got to use them when you draw good too. And TJ always manages to come through for us on them broncs like that. Even if the bronc's not one of the greatest, he can still ride one and make it look good. And then if he does get one of the really good ones, he uses it too. So it makes a big difference.
If you were there, you saw, and one, if you weren't, obviously you don't have knowledge of it, but on Saturday night, TJ came out, his horse kind of fell with him and took a spill, and we were all kind of wondering, what are the judges going to do? We're going to get a re-ride or not? And he was granted, foul at the gate, so they gave him another horse, and and Keith, that second horse, Reno brought a great set, but the re-ride, let's be honest, he wasn't the strongest horse for TJ, obviously, but he put on a great, solid ride, and that's one of the things you got to do is when you're dealing with all these livestock, you never know what you're gonna pull that particular run, and TJ made the most of it and was able to walk away with the win.
And still scored a 77
yes.
that night, which was, I think, third.
Yeah, and that's a testament to TJ. It's a testament to TJ.
And Don has, like I said, a great string of horses that he brings to those, and we were pretty pumped on his first horse. He's had it out back and forth with that horse 3 or 4 times now, and that horse is really good. I hated to see him hit that gate post like that coming out because I was looking forward to it, but like I said, it turned out all right for us anyways.
It sure did. Talk a little bit about the pennon. You guys won the pennon, and you recall a little bit about how the runs went? For me, I can't I can't exactly remember Friday and Saturday night which ones. How did the pennants shake out?
It went really well for us. I think, I remember right, we were second or third in it Friday night, and then Saturday night we won it, and then we ended up winning in the average. But the cattle had gotten really sticky and pretty tough, and some teams struggled with it. So we kind of went in there with the game plan that, you know, hey, let's get in there and we'll knock them out and go pin them and kind of slow as fast type of deal. But every time we've ever kind of had that mentality, it really hadn't went that way for us. We just kind of get in there and go as fast as we can. Once you get in there and get caught in the moment, and like I said, them cattle really laid good for us. We brought out our first one, and then the other two were on the outside edge, and they came together and went right in the pen for us. So it really went well for us. Like I said, it's one of them deals where you've got to draw good, you've got to use it when you do. So we all work together all the time, and so it makes a big difference on being able to read each other, what we need to do, and just, you know, having good teamwork and good communication. And it's one of our stronger events most of the time, so it fell in our favor again.
Keith brought up something. This team is very cohesive. These two ranches work together for years, and I wanted to call attention to that because the way that OCA runs some of their events, and let's say in team penning, for example, Craig, you got everybody at the line. You can have one person go in to sort. But if you got a 6-man card, you pull all 6 in, right, and everybody stays on the line. So Lazy E is a very wide arena. So that's a big benefit to you to have all those people there. You can only take 3 down to pin, but you can have 6 there in the line. And then even when you go into the cow milking, you know, you bring everybody into to the event. Whoever's in position's got the best spot, yada, yada. It kind of helps. I'm standing at the end gate, and in the milking, there's 4 horses in the arena. And one of the guys standing at the end gate was opening the gate. He goes, "What are they doing? They're only going with 4. They're going to be a disadvantage. They're only going with 4." And I just smiled. I said, you might not know these guys that well. The makeup of this card, these guys have been together for a long time. But talk about putting Wilder and Lanny on. How does that mindset work for you guys, Keith? And those are some of the younger kids from the ranch. And so I just wanted to set you up for that and give you a chance to talk about what it means to y'all to put the kids on and how y'all work together so well.
Oh, it means the world. So TJ's son, Wilder, he's on a junior WRCA team also, and they've qualified. So he'll be down there with us on our team and on the junior side of it both. And then Lainey, this is her first year to be on the card with us, and she does the local junior ranch rodeos also. And so it's fun. It's a good time for them to get to go. It means the world to us and to them to be able to do something like that with our kids and for them to come enjoy it, you know. And we're a big family as far as, you know, the ranch goes and all. You know, when we go to these rodeos, we don't stay in hotels. We stay in our trailers, and we pull them side by side and roll our awnings out and get our grills out and our ice chests, and that's what we spend the whole time there together. And so the kids are with each other the whole time, and we're with each other. And like I said, so when them kids get to go out there, it means the world. And you know, especially like getting to go into a big grand entry like the OCA and like Amarillo and stuff, for them kids to get to ride in there and then get to showcase a little of their abilities. And you know, hopefully as time goes on and we keep on going and those kids get older, maybe they'll be able to roll in. I'm getting a little long in the tooth anyway, so maybe one of them will be able to come in there and fill my position.
Yeah, they're just waiting, Keith. You can see it in their eye when they're horseback or when they're sitting on the sideline. They're waiting. And what a cool deal. I'm telling you, this is a great group of people. They've been a part of WRCA for a very long time. And to see that next generation sitting there is pretty cool, Keith. It's very cool. Yeah,
I think so too. Like I said, it means a lot to us for sure, and it sure means something to the kids and to the families.
Well, we're excited. We got you coming back to Amarillo.
Yeah. One of our main concerns, we were back and forth, battled it out at several of the rodeos, and ended up second several times and third a couple times, and we kind of pulled back a few times, afraid we were going to win it because we weren't sure who that beer sponsor was going to be. But I hope we've got that deal lined out by the time I get to that hospitality room. I'm a little nervous. It might be bring your own beer. You know, I don't think anybody wants to see me get in there and get on the whiskey. So
No,
Unless you're sponsored.
right,
exactly.
right. No,
Exactly.
Keith, we'll have you taken care of, sir.
Good. That's the main thing. That's been one of my biggest fears so far.
Call a spade a spade.
Exactly.
Punches pulled. I love it. Yes, sir. We'll have you taken care of, Keith.
Good. I'm glad to know it. And I'm sure my wife will be really excited.
You bet. You bet. Man, tell everybody, good job again. Congrats. Very proud of y'all. And look forward to seeing you in Amarillo.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys very much. It was good visiting with you.
Yep.
Thanks, Keith.
See you, man.
Have a good day, man.
Got to tackle the big items, you know.
It's great. I love it. I love it.
Might as well.
Oh,
He was very reserved. If you've been around Keith a little bit, he comes loaded. So I appreciate him being kind.
oh my goodness. Let's see. What you got coming up next week then?
We got a busy week. Again, you get into this time of year.
Yeah.
August is really wild. September is just as crazy. So, Shayna, we've got 2 rodeos and 2 adult and 2 youth next week.
Correct.
That's a busy.
And where are we going next week, Shayna?
The Jackpot Ranch Rodeo in Camp Verde, Arizona. And then the Motley Dickens Old Settlers Reunion and Rodeo in Roaring Springs. And they both have a youth rodeo, so it'll be a busy
weekend.
busy weekend.
Peyton is going to Roaring Springs, right? That'll be this is their 100th anniversary.
Wow. That'll be fun. Yeah.
So congrats to everybody down there. Y'all might have known, maybe you didn't, they had a big tornado that come through and did a lot of damage. There was loss of life and things that were very unfortunate there, but the community's pulled together and they're very anxious to have a moment to celebrate.
Yeah.
Let their hair down a little.
Yep.
And so that's what's going to go on in Roaring Springs. The Jackpot in Camp Verde, Casey Hooper. Casey's been on a 2-week trip around out in that country, hitting some rodeos for us, and so she's going to be going to that one. Again, both of them have youth events. So when we come in next week, we have a lot to cover.
Got 2 or
Lot to
4, I guess,
cover.
technically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Technically.
4. Yeah.
And then I want to take a minute to touch on, that'll close August up, but then when we move into September, we're off. We don't have an event over Labor Day. So we'll spend some time with family, and Stan's over there doing the jig. We'll dance a little bit, apparently. Attaboy.
That's Rob.
Going to Colorado? Good for you, sir. Good
Same
for you.
here.
Then we come back that next week in September, and right here in Amarillo, we actually have a sanctioned rodeo. It's the West Texas Ranch Rodeo. Lane Province and his crew will be putting that event on. So those 3 rodeos are what's coming up. If you're in the areas of those and you're curious, go to our website, go to the mobile app, check 'em
Facebook,
out.
Instagram,
Facebook,
everything.
Instagram, all the things.
Yeah, and the West Texas, I know they've got a youth
They
one
have a
also.
youth,
So
yes.
Yep. It'll be
Several
another
more
one.
youth ones
Yeah.
coming
yeah.
up.
That's good. That's good. That'll be Saturday the
9th, 8th, 9th,
9th, I think.
9th.
No, it's November. What's the when's the youth? Is it Saturday?
Oh, ours.
Yeah, it's
Saturday.
the Saturday.
The Saturday.
Yeah.
The 11th.
The 11th. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The 11th.
the 3rd annual Youth World Championship
Yeah,
Ranch
yeah,
Rodeo.
it's exciting.
That is Saturday, November the 11th at 1 p.m. And so tickets, let's talk tickets a little bit.
Yeah.
As y'all probably have heard or you've seen, you've gone to try to buy Friday, Saturday. There's currently no tickets available for those events. Thursday and Sunday, there's still tickets available. And then Saturday, that youth rodeo, it's selling good. I mean, it's real popular, but there's still tickets available for that one. So jump out there and grab a hold of them.
And
Come
the
see
watch
us.
party. Yeah, I got the watch party in
Watch
case you
party.
can't get tickets. Yeah.
Yes, Friday and Saturday night happening on site. You won't miss out on anything
Yeah.
being in there. So
And let's talk about the dance.
Yeah, get a little bit of
After
dancing
party.
after.
Jody Nix.
Yeah, yeah.
Jody Nix, Saturday night
Yeah,
after
you can't-
party.
You can't lose with Jody. Nix.
Everywhere
That's
I
just
go,
the
I don't know
dancing.
what it is, but people stop me and they're so excited.
Yeah.
about having him come play. He actually played at the very first World Championship back in the day.
Cool.
And so Jody's great guy, great music, and we're going to have him Saturday night after the rodeo in the Grand Plaza.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us.
WRCA.org. Download the free app wherever you get your apps from. Just search WRCA. That's what I'm looking at right here. It's got the whole schedule. You can kind of mark things you want to go to, and it'll give you little reminders and everything, and just let you know what all's coming up. And it's done a great job with the app. So download the free app, WRCA. Just search it wherever you get your apps from. So.
And too, should say on that app, we actually have the Sanctioned Rodeo results on there too.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you prefer getting your data that way, Shayna keeps it updated for us.
I try.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this week then, huh? Got a busy week next week, so tune in next week. We'll be back. Big thanks to New Generation Supplements, newgensupplements.com. Appreciate them, Horselick, and appreciate all their support a lot. It's more than we can probably ever express to them, so appreciate you. All right. We'll see you next week.